Do you have messy drawers that are an absolute eyesore and a pain to find what you're after? Well, today we're solving that problem with about $5 worth of foam. To cut out these insets by hand, you only need a few tools, such as a cutting mat, a scalpel, a bigger knife, a couple of markers and some rulers. Masking tape also helps too. Alright, so we've got our tools organised, and that should probably cost under about $20. But now what we need now is our actual foam. Now you can go out and buy specialty foam which has little layers in it, and that's real cool stuff, but really expensive. So what I like to do is get some of this EVA foam that people use on like workshops, gym mats, that sort of stuff. And it's fairly cheap. It was about $8 for 4 of these sheets, which is about a metre squared. Alright, so now that we've got this down here, we'll get out our cutting board and we're going to cut it down to the size of our drawer. That's the outline of our drawer. That fits perfectly. Grab your long nose marker and trace around each tool like you're outlining evidence at a cartoon crime scene. I originally planned to put scissors in, but then I remembered that I rarely cut anything more threatening than zip ties, so I swapped them out for a combination square and continued to trace out the rest of the tools before cutting them out with the scalpel. I put a sheet on the bottom, followed by a sheet with just a square cut out for the 3D printed parts, so that they sit flush with the final piece. That's how simple it is to cut out these foam inserts with just a knife. However, I wanted to go a step further and purchase a cheap laser cutter. It came as a kit and I started to assemble it. These laser cutters aren't very expensive. I got mine on eBay and they usually go for about $150, but I got mine on sale for a little bit cheaper. It all went together really easily as it just uses aluminium T-track. I won't be going through a full step-by-step build, but it all took about 20 minutes to assemble and get up to the stage of cutting. It has a cutting area of 420mm by 410, which is actually pretty big considering the price. I also made this quick board to sit under the cutter so that the material that we will be cutting won't be sitting on the workbench. And I also spent a little bit extra and bought a laser engraver cover because these lasers are dangerous and you really don't want to skimp on safety when working with these machines. I did a few test cuts, told myself I'd fine tune it later, and then completely forgot it existed for about a year. Now, I don't often work in the house, but it certainly has its perks. For one, the tally's right there. With the bonus of the TV, I went to grab a movie. Naturally, I picked up the cinematic masterpiece that is Stuart Little, because who doesn't want to be inspired by a rodent with a can-do attitude? Okay, so as you can see, I've made a sheet of paper by sticking 4 of them together, and they're the exact same size as what the drawer inserts will be. So now I can take out some of my tools and then we can make a layout for the drawers. But just a second, this is a good part here. I put the movie on for something to watch in the background, but 90 minutes later my phone was uncut, my tools were untouched, and I was still wondering why this mouse drives a better car than I do. But was it worth it? Absolutely. And my only regret is that I didn't watch the sequel as well. What a good movie. Right, I should do something with the tools though. It's hard not to get distracted when you get to enjoy such a classic, but anyway, I got to work with lining up everything how I wanted it. I started with the spanners, which is nice and simple because they just go in ascending order, then throw in the big one and a shifter. I then went through and organised the rest of the tooling before taking photos of each layout ready for the next step. Okay, so now that we have the layout of our tools, we can go through and trace them out. And now you could go through with a bit of paper I traced them all out with a pen, but that is for suckers. So what we've got here is ourselves a light box. And anyway, we're going to get our tools and we're going to lay them down. Now this light box is an A3 size. We're then going to turn it on to a first brightest setting, or whatever brightest setting you're on to, and we're going to use an app. Now this app is called ToolKaiser. And what this app allows you to do is to take a photo of your tools and it will automatically make an outline for it. And once it's done loading, I'll give it a check, and that worked out quite well. Okay, so we've emailed it off to ourselves, so now we can jump on the computer and edit them down. The email includes a link to their website where you can go in, adjust the size of your work area, adjust the outline of your tools, and adjust the layout. Now I'll be honest, this whole system is not the best and it often messes up. You can't just export one set of tools as it will automatically export the whole lot. There are a few more little grievances, but it does look like they're in the process of redoing the whole system, and I'll be very interested in what it's going to look like when they're all done. With the layout exported as an SVG, I'll load it into Lightburn, which is a system that runs the laser cutter. It's in here that you can set the speed and the power of the laser, as well as add in anything you need, such as an offset. The laser cutter is now plugged in and our material loaded up, so we can hit start and watch the machine do all the work for us. Now my laser settings may vary from yours, but my laser is a 5.5 watt diode laser, and I'm cutting this 10mm foam at 450mm a minute and at 80% power. I did have a quick little mess around with some settings, but these are the best that I found. Also recommend getting a fan for your enclosure because wow, cutting EVA foam stinks, and I can't imagine it's the best for you. So unless you like the idea of an early grave, I'd get a fan. After the laser had to go at the foam, the parts just pop out really easily. Then I can go and cut the sheet down to size. Loading up the files in their new home, they feel like a treat, but hold up, the handles are sticking up and that just don't fly with me. So I went on the computer and just kept the handle. When it's all cut out, I'll put that in and test it out. And I think it looks excellent, so let's move on to some more. Next up, we're going to work on some cutouts for the pliers, and it's going to be the exact same story as the files. What you just saw was all the cutouts for the pliers, the multi-grips and vice grips, and the hex keys. I also did some screwdrivers off camera, but as you can see, when you pull them out, there's nothing under them. So I picked up a roll of thin red foam and cut it down to the size of my drawers. By removing the first layer of the 10mm black foam, I can then put the red underneath it, and now we have a cheap shadow layer, which makes it very clear to see when you're missing a tool. I did also mess around with gluing the red foam down, but it does hold itself in there pretty well, and the glue I used just didn't work. Alright, so here's all our drawers that are organised. In our first drawer we have a measuring and marking. We 3D printed some little containers for the pens, pencils and then other little miscellaneous like a centre punch. Got a knife, digital calipers and a square and a ruler. Next one down below is our Phillips and flathead screwdrivers. They're all nicely arranged there. Next down we have our pliers. We just got your normal regular pliers, including some long ones there, but you've got some short ones, regular size, no side cutters, all those kinds. And then this one down here, we got some Allen keys. Now these ones are all metric because I didn't have room to put the imperials into, but I mostly use metric anyway. And then on the bottom one, we've got some random stuff because I haven't figured out what to put in there yet. And then on this side, we got our spanners ranging from 8mm to 19mm. Also have a shifter and then a big spanner, which I've actually never used before. Next one down, we have our specialty screwdrivers. They're right next to our Phillips and flathead screwdrivers. But yeah, you got like Torx, square, Allen key ones, little Torx, and then all the bits down there. In here we have our vice grips and multi grips. And then we've got our files down below that. And then also in the bottom drawer, just a miscellaneous. All of the drawers have a red shadow layer to make it easy to see when a tool is missing. The only thing I would recommend doing is to add a grip point to pick up the tools, as some of them can be a bit difficult to grab. Well, that's one way of using a $150 laser cutter to organise your life, one piece of foam at a time. If you like this, check out my other video where I use CNC plasma cutter to organise some more tools, because clearly I'm on a personal mission to make organising tools as unnecessary as possible. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.